What's up guys, it's Enzo, and there are a lot of changes in the past 2 seasons in Mobile Legends, and the most impactful change is the funnel meta. It is very advantageous, that's why most players are using the funnel strategy and taking advantage of the marksman heroes going into the mid lane. For today's video, we will discuss the tips and tricks on using one of the most feared marksmen in the game, Karrie. There are plenty of marksman heroes in Mobile Legends, and most of them are powerful and very useful in this season of the game. The majority of marksman users are fond of this meta because they can use marksman heroes more often. Today we will discuss the things you must know to be an effective Karrie user. So without further ado, let's talk about Karrie's preparation. First is the effective emblem set to use when you choose Karrie as your hero in the game. I recommend this assassin emblem set for Karrie because, as we all know, she can quickly kill enemy heroes with her teammates' help. So this emblem set will be an excellent complement to Karrie's ability. This emblem set contains level 3 bravery for additional 12 physical points as early as the game starts. This extra points will be beneficial in the early game because, as we all know, marksman heroes are weak and don't have massive damage in the early game. But if you want to rotate much faster and roam the map quickly, you can pick up level 3 agility to gain an extra 6% of movement speed. Next is level 3 invasion for an additional 6 physical penetration points. This physical penetration is a perfect addition to Karrie because she is heavily relying on her physical attack, and this ability will help her to penetrate the armors of the enemies, making her a total tank buster. Last for the emblem setup is the bounty hunter talent. Again, this is a very good complement for Karrie because she can earn extra gold whenever she kills an enemy. And now for the right spell when you use Karrie. There are 2 specific spells I would recommend if you use Karrie. Most of the time, Karrie will be a main core of the team, which means she will most likely be the target of the enemies. Even though Karrie has a dash that can save her from being ambushed, it is not good to risk your team's primary carry with a single dash. That's why I am recommending you use Flicker or Purify as your spell. Use Purify if there are many crowd control heroes in the enemy's lineup. If there is none, I suggest you use Flicker for additional mobility to escape ambushes and chase down your enemies. And for the last and the most crucial thing in the preparation is the items. First is the Endless Battle. This is the essential item you must have when you use Karrie. This item will help Karrie to be unstoppable because of its stats and passive abilities. Whenever Karrie uses a skill, her basic attack will have extra damage and slow enemies down. Also, Karrie is a marksman that uses skills a lot more often, so it will be more beneficial for her to have this kind of item because it has additional cooldown reduction and mana regeneration. The next item is the Golden Staff. This item is a perfect complement to Karrie's ability to deal massive damage. She has a passive that can be deadly with this item's help, and I will explain to you later. This item will give Karrie additional damage and attack speed that will help her kill enemies faster. But if you want to have more critical damage, don't use Golden Staff. Instead, use the Wind Talker. It will help her have enough attack speed that she needs to kill any enemies. And you can partner it up with different critical items in the game. Next item is the Thunder Belt. This item is a must for Karrie. After all, it will help her become more durable in team fights and help chase down enemies because it is like the Endless Battle that after you use a skill, the next basic attack will slow down enemies. This item will also give additional stats that will make Karrie last longer in battle. Lastly, for the items is the Bloodlust Axe. This item will help Karrie to have a spell vamp. Whenever Karrie uses her skill or passive, which means every bit of her attack, this item's spell vamp will be activated. So it is a very good item for Karrie because she can still have extra life while attacking enemies. Aside from that, this item will give her an extra cooldown reduction. Now, let's talk about Karrie's abilities. Let's start with her passive skill, the Light Wheel Mark. Karrie adds a light wheel mark whenever she hits an enemy and can stack up to 5 times. The 5th will have additional true damage equal to 6 to 12% of the enemy's max HP. It can also be dealt with the minions. This is the one that I'm talking about with the Golden Staff. Whenever you acquire Golden Staff as your item, you will deal the true damage for every 3 consecutive attacks instead of 5. Next is her first skill, the Spinning Light Wheel. Karrie will release a spinning light wheel in the area effect that will deal damage and slow down enemies. This skill is an excellent ability to clear minion waves when you can position it in the right place. Just a tip for you guys, always throw this skill in advance whenever your enemies run or escape so they will be slowed down. Next is her second skill, the Phantom Step. Karrie will move forward to a designated place and release one of her light wheel to the most nearby enemy or the one you locked on. Lastly, for her skills is her ultimate, the Speedy Light Wheel. This skill is like a god mode for Karrie. Whenever she activates this, Karrie will enter the dual wield mode within the 6 seconds, wherein she will gain additional movement speed and release 2 light wheels for every normal attack. But each basic attack only deals 50% damage and her attack speed will be reduced by 20%. Now let's talk about the tips when you use Karrie. First of all, you have to be a good farmer, which means you have to prioritize farming in the early game and be in a better position so that you will not get killed and stop gaining gold. We all know that marksman heroes are late game heroes that will only dominate the game whenever they have enough items to complement their physical attack damage. So it is a must that you distance yourself into team fights or clashes in the early game when you use Karrie or any marksman hero in the game. Before we proceed to other tips on using Karrie, let us also discuss the heroes that can counter Karrie and the heroes that can be countered by Karrie. There are many heroes that can counter Karrie. Most of them have many crowd control skills. Like most marksman heroes, Karrie is a squishy hero that can easily get killed. That's why I recommend you use Flicker or Purify for additional mobility. She can also be a good counter for many heroes, especially for the hardest tanks. She can penetrate their armors with the help of her passive ability. Now let's continue and discuss the tips. The next tip that I will give you is to use her ultimate skill more often, like when jungling. Some players will reserve the ultimate skill for team fights, but the good thing about her ultimate skill is the cooldown, which is 30 seconds only. So it can help you farm faster if you would use the Speedy Light Wheel more often. The next tip is a contrary of the previous one. Don't use her ultimate skill when attacking towers. Yes, it's still a useful skill for locking out enemy heroes, but the passive will not activate for the towers, so it will slow you down on destroying the tower. The next tip is to always get the red buff if possible. It can be a huge help for Karrie to farm in the early game and kill enemies in the late game. Lastly, for the tips, is always find the priority target in the team fight and lock on them. Karrie can quickly kill enemy heroes when appropriately used, especially if you know how to lock on a specific target. Her passive skill will not stay on one hero permanently. For example, if you have Uranus and Valier as your enemy, if you hit Valier 4 consecutive times and accidentally you hit Uranus because he went near you, the light wheel mark will go to Uranus and reset the 4 marks for Valier. The 5th hit that was supposed to deal true damage to Valier will reset. And that's it. I hope that these tips could help you cope up with the game and help you use Karrie more effectively and appreciate her more. So, what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to visit yugatech.com/gaming for more news, tips, and tricks. It's your boy Enzo, and stay safe.